Hey, this is Ben with Two Guys and a Mower in the Be Safe program. I wanted to take a couple of moments here and just let you know how we really got started in this and what we believe and kind of the process that we went through getting involved in this. The reason we got involved is because a lot of our clients have asked us over the years, when are you going to start a fertilization program? We really like what you're doing with the lawn and we want to see you be able to do more, and then we want to kind of consolidate so we don't have as many bills. So we've been looking at doing something for a while. One of the reasons we didn't originally do it was because I didn't believe we could do it with the kind of attention that it needed to be able to get the kind of results we wanted. And if we're going to do something, I want to make sure that we're doing it right and that we're getting awesome results out of what we're doing. Two, a lot of the options available when I started to do research, they left me kind of wanting more. I wasn't really happy with the options that I was finding. You know, you talk about your typical traditional method. You're talking about chemical fertilizer and chemical pest control, or pesticides. So you're going in, you're putting down a fertilizer to make the grass green, and then you're going in, you're putting down something to treat the weeds, and all this is a chemical process. And that's okay until you start talking about what it can do. You can start running into problems with it getting into the water sources. You can run into problems of health problems for your family and your pets. My team, you can burn up lawns because that stuff, it's a chemical, so if it's not getting enough proper water, you put it down, it's too hot, there's the risk of burning up a whole entire lawn. So that was just really something I didn't really want to get involved with. It kind of, I didn't really like that option. And then another option I started to look into was organics. And I guess originally what we would call them is like a first generation organic. And a lot of the problems with these was it was just based on a product swap. All you were doing is you're looking at going from a chemical fertilizer to organic fertilizer. It wasn't really looking at what you're putting into the soil. You're just getting organic matter. And the problem with that is it doesn't break down real well. So you're putting down a product, you've got to put down a lot more of this product. And most people aren't willing to do that to see the kind of results. And then on top of that, it's not breaking down. You can actually take most of your organic products and put them in a jar and shake them up. It's going to essentially look like you got mulch sitting in a jar. And you can put that jar off to the side and leave it there. And not much is going to change. So really what's happening in the lawn when you put that on there? That's kind of, when you think about it, not much is changing from the jar to the lawn. When you take your typical chemical fertilizer and you shake it up, it's going to dissolve. So that's why it's a lot more effective. And that's why your typical organics really weren't working as far as more of a first generation organics. And then on top of that, to top it off, a couple of things, they're saying you got a couple of options. You can either ignore the weeds altogether, or you can go out there and hand pick them all. Which nobody wants to pay me to come out and hand pick all their weeds. And then another option was, a lot of companies do this still. They're using organic fertilizers, but then they're coming through and you're using a chemical pesticide. So in my mind, though, I'm thinking, okay, so I'm putting down an organic fertilizer, I'm starting to do some good things for the soil, and then I'm still going to put down a chemical weed control. Got me kind of, it doesn't really make sense if you think about it. Like, it kind of defeats the purpose just a little bit. And I just thought there had to really kind of be some better options. And then to top it off, those dreaded words, they're talking about 2 to 3 years before you actually see good results with an organic program. Obviously that's something I'm not wanting to do. I want to be able to come into the lawn and I want it to look better than it did before we got started on it, regardless of what kind of program we're running. I want to see good results, So that's important. Because, we want it to look good, but you have us come out and do your lawn because you want it to look a certain way. So that's really left me to do a lot more research. And we had already started, I knew there had to be some other options because, to be truthful, we had started to do some different things when it came to our seeding. And we started to find out that there was ways by creating the right environments, proper watering, and giving the soil the proper nutrition that it needed, that we were able to actually grow really good new fresh areas of grass and spot treat the lawns from spot, when you have bare spots. And we were getting great results out of this by giving it what it needed without even using a starter fertilizer. And then these areas did really well in the sun when the summer came along. They were more sustainable and they didn't die out as quick. But it's because they had the good nutrition in there. So that's where we really started to kind of get more of a thought. And to be honest, like, we started to think about how we could put it on the lawn, and some of our original ideas were a little crazy, because you're talking about, you're looking at it, well, if we can get these kind of results over here, how can we spread that to the whole lawn? Which means you're going to be putting down, a lot of, like, some of the ways we were doing some things with that was taking, like, leaf compost and stuff, and, you don't want us to come out and put that down all over your whole entire yard. But hey, I was open to my options, and I was wanting to find something that was effective and actually for more of a soil biology effect. But kept doing our research because we knew there had to be another option out there. We found a company that's called Natural Technologies. This was pretty cool because they actually believe more on soil biology and knowing what's going on with the root system than they really do just putting down a product. They've created these products, organic products, that are liquid based. So that means they're going to be effective, and you're not having to wait forever for it to be effective. You might still, because it is going in, we're putting in a lot less nitrogen, but the products are geared towards putting in smaller amounts of nitrogen, which is going to mean less ups and downs in your growth cycle, but creating the nitrogen that's in the soil to also come out as well. So you're taking advantage of what's already in there. So you get less sporadic growth, but you're also going to get more consistency throughout the whole season. Another unique thing about the products is that we in the middle of summer, we're not going in. A lot of times you can't treat in the middle of the summer because you're looking at using a fertilizer that's chemical based, which is kind of the same concept as caffeine. It's going to dehydrate you. It's going to give you some results, but it's going to dehydrate you, which ultimately burns up your lawn. We're going in the middle of the summer, and we're putting in soil amendments. Through these different processes, we're focused on easing the stress of the root system and giving it what it needs, so you're actually creating a better environment and more consistency in the lawn, and you're not burning up the lawn in the process of it. That gives you a little bit more of an idea. So their products are really cool. We went out to, once we started doing this, I started talking to a couple of their different dealers and getting an idea of how effective it was actually being, because that's my question. Like, okay, that's great, that's cool, the products are really cool. How effective, and we're starting to see some of the side by sides and the before and after pictures. After that, I was sold, because the results you'll see is it's a lot greener and a lot thicker lawns. So it's really cool what they've been able to do with this, and all of it's been tested. They have a system put together, so it takes a lot of the guesswork out of the program that we're going to be bringing out. So we ended up going up there. We went up to New Hampshire. We got to meet some of their team, talk to them a little bit more about what they were doing. We went through their 3-day training course, and we got educated. It was really cool, actually. I took Reagan up there with me, and we were able to, they actually bring in some of the big names in the industry in these categories and talked about it for a couple of days, and we really got a lot of information. And I knew this was something we had to get involved with, so we got set up with them, and we've actually been able to bring the company to be able to bring this to the South Dayton area. That was something we're really excited about, because we're the first company to be able to bring this product to the South Dayton area, and it's kind of something really unique, and we're excited to be able to get started this year. If you have any questions, let me know. I want your hardest questions. I've said it in a couple other videos. I want your hardest questions. If you've got a question that you're like, why is this going to work? How's it going to work? Anything. If it's a really hard question, you're like, I got him with this one. We definitely want your questions, because that allows us to be better at what we're doing, but also it allows us to educate you on some of your more common questions. And, some of the random ones, as to effectiveness and how we treat weeds. I forgot to mention that in the process of making this video. We have an effective organic means of how to treat weeds, so your weeds aren't going to be left untreated. And it's an all organic method, so we're not having to put in chemicals to treat those weeds. That's one of the really unique features about our program. And we'll be doing some more videos. We're going to get a little bit more in depth to some of the other topics. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it right now. I appreciate you taking the moment to watch this video and figure out, why we decided to do this program and why we believe in this program and the actual ideal behind it, rather than just bringing you out a product. This is something we've thought about. This is something we believe in the process, and that's why we're doing it. We're excited to be able to start seeing the results and working with you guys. Thanks. How many times can you hit it?